Hello everyone, hello everybody, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, and welcome to some more Kerbal Space Program. And just to recap, I have been doing this mission in the Sarnus system, where I assembled a spaceship in Kerbin orbit and then sent it out to the Sarnus system. And then I explored Slate, and then Tecto, and then now and then I sent a probe into Sarnus's atmosphere, and then now I'm on Ewu. And the reason why that order is I decided that rather than doing a Slate gravity assist, I would do an aero brake in Sarnus's atmosphere. But then that put me on a trajectory going directly into Slate's sphere of influence, so I just decided to go with that. And then I just did Slate first, and then landed on Tecto, and then kind of both in one fell swoop, I sent my probe into Sarnus, and then also landed my plane on Ewu. And then I just put my mothership in orbit around Ewu. But now, we just really have 2 more moons left. The two inner moons, that are kind of like around the Sarnus's rings. So as without further ado, let's take off from Ewu. I hate this bug. I'm gonna reload. So annoying. It thinks I'm still landed when I'm clearly flying. But the problem with that is I don't get an orbital trajectory, and it's gonna be a lot harder to do my rendezvous. Okay, I'm finally flying now, as opposed to the game thinking I'm landed. I have no idea why, but I keep having that issue. It's really annoying. And I really don't know what to do, because I can't seem to find any... like I have found threads with people having that issue, but they're all like really old, and I don't know. They only just say, oh, revert to an earlier quick save, but like, well, this problem is happening to me constantly, and well, that's not always going to be the case that I have a quick save that I can revert to. But anyway, I guess we're officially off the ground. Apparently we took off the wrong way. It's really just doing the docking procedure that you probably have seen me do 50 times at this point. Just need to rendezvous with the mothership again. Well, what I'm doing here is trying to use the RCS just to help this thing turn, but I'm not leaving it on just to preserve monopropellant. Okay, we are docked back up the mothership now. And now we just want to leave Elu. Oh, I just also remembered. Believe I may have transferred some of the fuel out of one of these to refuel the plane. Okay, I wanted to just make sure that basically my fuel is actually balanced, so that like when I actually do burns, it's not like a big I don't have like when I'm doing maneuvers, my ship is not going to have this tendency to want to like always lean towards one side because of the imbalance. Oh, and I kind of neglected to show this. These actually are the asteroids that are around Sarnus. Like, they just kind of spawn kind of in this general area, kind of around... I said they'd be in between Elu's orbit and the rings, but it looks like some of them are also outside of it. So yeah, that's if you go to the tracking station, you can track those just like the asteroids that appear like near to Kerbin, and you can actually track them. And well, if you bring a ship with a mining drill and refinery out here, you can refuel. But I mean, I kind of tried to do that, but just because of the design of my ship, I ended up being easier just to ditch that, and well, I'm not really going to need it for what I'm doing anyway. Yeah, so it was literally even with this craft that we have right here, we still have I guess it's counting maybe it's the plane as part of some of this, but at least in our interplanetary stage, we still easily have like over 16,000 meters per second of delta V, which is gonna be more than enough for us to return home with. Yeah, I just set Ovok as my target, and then now I'm going to match my inclination to it. So, getting an encounter with both this Ovok and Hale is kind of interesting because they're such small moons with very little gravity and very small spheres of influence. It's actually rather difficult to get encounters with them. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to lower my orbit first. Just kind of get into a circular orbit close to them first. And then I'm going to set up a rendezvous from there. Or an encounter. Okay, so there's our encounter. But the interesting thing about this, or getting into encounter with both this moon and also that one, well, the innermost one, is these are also so small that, like, of course we're just about of course we're not even in the encounter yet, and well, it's not that easy to see it because we're in shade, but that's right there. Well, should be. Well, we're on the dark side of it, but we're so close to it that you can already start to see it. And we need to turn around. Yes. Might be able to see it now. Oh, there we go. I think now we can, I think we're moving slow enough relative to it that it's gonna be possible to get in orbit. It's like if I were to get an encounter right from my orbit with Iwu, the relative speed relative velocity that I would have would be so great that I think I just zoom right past this thing before I can even get into orbit around it. So that's kind of a thing you have to kind of keep in mind with these really small bodies. And now we're in orbit. Oh, and another thing is, because of the odd shape of Ovok, or I'm not sure if that's even the right pronunciation, but it's with this one in particular, because of its egg shape, it actually is kind of easy to get into an orbit that would eventually have you crashing into it. Like the very tip of it is like, I think, at a higher elevation than like the butt, I guess, for lack of a better word. But it's like if you get too low of an orbit, you might end up running into the tip of the egg, basically. And there's Ovok. And there's Sarnus and its rings. Just gonna do some science while I'm here. I think now is a good time to try to wait to land. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think we even need to use, the gravity is so low here, we don't even need to use the mothership to help us. We can just undock the plane. And even just like that, we're already we're already not in orbit. Yeah, it really takes nothing to actually land here. So the other thing about the really low gravity here is it's actually rather hard, kind of hard to actually land, because a lot of times you're just gonna end up kind of floating like this. Like, it's really hard to actually set down on the surface because the gravity is basically almost non-existent. So I just have to kind of wait for us to settle down. And I'm not really even gonna bother try to use engines to slow down, just because we're moving so slowly that any impacts are not going to be sufficient enough to break anything. And well, now we can do some more science. Oh yeah, I forgot that was gonna happen. Wait, is using the RCS just to speed this up. Okay, now we can go EVA. Just gotta love some of these science stuffs. Yeah, that's literally just, yeah, like this is how, it's just like what a jump is like. It just kind of says a lot about how low the gravity is here. And I guess now let's do a surface sample and plant our flag here. mean, if Sarnus were a bit lower in the sky, this would be, I think, an even cooler shot. Just look how it is right now. It's like I gotta zoom way out to really be able to see it. But I mean, I think it's still a good view from here. And of course, our takeoff is really quite simple. Literally, even just from that burst, look at our orbit. Maybe only fired my engines for maybe like a second. Oh wait a. Actually, no. I think I want to do a. I actually want to refuel my plane, I think, from here. I mean, not that I really need to, but... Whoops. That was my bad. It's why you don't throttle up during time warp. Yeah, I don't know why put me in midair. Yeah, I think I'm just going to edit out that whole... I think from now on I'm gonna edit out me time warping through the mining, or at least maybe on the surfaces of planets, because because it's like you see like this, basically this, you end up seeing the strobe light kind of effect of like basically like the like it goes between day and night really fast. And well, in case some people's eyes might not appreciate that, I think I might I think I might edit that out, or at least like I don't know if this will be a problem only on the surface, or it might also be like in orbit, but I might I might consider editing at least those time lapses out. But anyway, let's actually get going. And we're going retrograde again. Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Apparently, we ended up running into it, so I guess we'll have to try that again. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know why it spawns me above the surface, but I guess we'll go with it. Yeah, there we go. And now we're not going to... Now we're not going to end up running into the surface. And I guess we could just wait for... are for us to actually line up again. Or I could just do that. Yeah, this is for... Might be able to do most of this with RCS. Just because it's we're really not dealing with a lot of relative speed at all. Okay, now we're back at our mothership, and we now have a flag on Ovok. Which means we really only have one more destination left, at least in the Sarnus system. And that is, Hale. Yeah, it's either Ovok back there or Elu. And there's Slate over there. And it would help if we're facing the right way for an inclination change. I believe Ovok and Hale have, I think, similar amounts of gravity. And I believe they're like on the order of probably Gilly's gravity or even less. And which also means getting an encounter with them is actually more like docking with another spacecraft than actually like getting into encounter with a normal planet or moon. Okay, there's this, appears to be this really annoying, there's also this bug I've ran into where, like, the game still thinks it's like you're applying thrust, like you're still, it thinks your engines are still on, and it's like you're, it's like you're, like, basically, like, see how that's still changing? Like, I'm not throttled up right now, and it's just doing that. I might have to revert to a quick save, but I guess we'll try to make this work. And there it is back there, but we're once again on the dark side, so we can't really see it very well. And we're on a collision course, so we're gonna have to radio outburn a bit. And there's Hale. Really just a big asteroid is what this one is. And we're on kind of a polar orbit, but that's fine. Well, I'm just gonna do my science here while we're in orbit, and then I'm gonna land and then do science from the surface. And now we undock to land. We're just trying to get distance from that thing, from the mothership. Look, man, we're already on an escape trajectory. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna... Apparently whenever I time warp, it like does this weird thing where it thinks I'm still using my engines, so I'm just gonna... I think I might just leave the game and reopen it. Well, reopening the game seems to fix that, so I guess we're just gonna land here. And I'm just trying to get a good landing spot. Yeah, I may have to use RCS just to help land again. Yeah, I was just having to literally use RCS to push this against the ground just to make it realize that I've landed. Just because the gravity here is so, like, tiny. Yeah, I don't know if that's really the best shot for a video thumbnail I can get, but I guess I'll just go with it. It's just I kind of wanted to get like Sarnus kind of like on the horizon of where we landed, but I guess we kind of did that. But you can also see the rings pretty well. And from there you can just see the outer edges of the rings because we're actually inside the rings right now, as you can see. And I guess we'll do one last refueling. Oh, I did manage to get a better possible thumbnail screenshot, but I ended up having to do the science stuff again because I time warped and then my plane just decided to phase through the ground, and then I go out of time warp and then the whole thing just explodes. Yeah, I gotta love KSP's physics sometimes. And literally just the effect of closing those doors is enough to get us off the ground. I'm gonna redo that. Actually, no, I'm gonna wait. Darn it! See, it did that exact thing again. What the hell, KSP? Okay, so I was trying to do there is like wait until like we're directly like underneath the orbit of our target. Then from here we just do yet another rendezvous. See, it's like that, just that adjustment like barely took like anything in terms of throttle. And you gotta love, it's really, like that pause like the game always does whenever like you get within like the range at which it loads the other spacecraft is always like fun, especially when it comes to moving in and out of time warp. And the reason the camera moves like that is because it's literally just by me doing that tiny little puff of thrust, it's like I basically got myself out of orbit. But we're really in the home stretch now as far as this mission is concerned. And there we go. It's basically everything's done. We've landed on every with that we've landed on every moon of the Sarnus system. So there's actually one more thing, literally just from testing this plane, like there's a thing that I was actually able to do, which I think some of you might find a little bit hilarious. So I was testing this plane. Well, might build some suspense for a little bit. Well, I guess you'll find out what I'm about to do. Though it's not quite what you might be thinking right now. Well, this may or may not work, but, well, I just found out, oh, that's, interesting, I think we're, like, seeing, the distant object enhancement of the rest of the solar system through, like, the rings, so that's pretty cool. But, well, what I'm gonna be showing off here is just how overpowered, this space plane that I actually sent, to Tecto and then ended up using as a lander for the rest of this mission actually is. Oh, just topping up fuel. Okay, so I've decided I'd kind of end off this mission with it's kind of a bit of a stunt that I actually ended up proving was actually possible with this plane. Really, just if I'm more for anything else, just to show just how overpowered it is. And I mean, if you've seen how overpowered it was on Tecto, like, to the point where we could literally, just using just the jet engines, we're able to, like, get into orbit around Tecto. Okay, I'm not sure why, not sure why my plane exploded in that last, quip. I guess I was just time warping too fast, and well, we're in the very far lower atmosphere now, which is, insanely thick. Like, I think it's might be more than 10 times Kerbin's atmosphere now. Yeah, this is the surface of, Sarnus. Looks quite crazy from this, this low altitude. And I guess we've already done science from here, but... Oh no, I'm about to die. Whatever will I do? Well, we do have nuclear-powered jet engines. And yes, these are literally... these are literally running on the very atmosphere that we're in right now. And, we are now actually climbing up once again. And yeah, this is what the sky looks like from down here, which is pretty wild. It's like it's now actually kind of tinted like tan, because we're so far down in the atmosphere. So really from here, we just want as much of an ascent rate as we can get. And it's... the air is so thick that, well, we can, even if we could literally probably have even steeper trajectory than this, and we'd still have sufficient engine power. Like look at that! Like look at that! We're already. You have a thrust to weight of 2.38 already. Like the only thing we're really fighting against is the thick atmosphere right now. And then we just kind of sit in here and wait with like this, and then at some point as we climb out of the lower atmosphere, we're gonna start picking up speed. We're about nearly double the max speed that we could achieve at the surface at this point. We were just a couple kilometers above the surface. Okay, we're really starting to pick up speed now. And we're really picking up speed now, and probably at this rate, our apoapsis is just going to be out of the atmosphere in probably a few minutes. And if we keep this up, we are gonna be out of this atmosphere in no time. I mean, it took a lot of time to get out of the thicker lower part, but we're gonna be out pretty soon. we're just leveling off here just to kind of gain the same kind of effect with these engines as such as you're taking off from Kerbin. They are starting to lose our thrust, but our apoapsis is finally out of the atmosphere, so we're just going to need to maintain this. And we might have to switch to a bit of our liquid fuel just to maintain a path out of the atmosphere if we lose our engines too soon. And with that, we're finally out of Sarnus. This is probably one of the craziest things I think I've really even done in KSP to date. Like, I've seen missions of people, like, designing actual, like, a purpose-built, like, spaceship to, like, land, like, quote-unquote land on Jewel. Or I guess more like get close to the surface and then get out of Jewel's atmosphere, like basically from the bottom. So even though this was just with modded parts, I still consider it an accomplishment. Okay. It's probably one of the most daring things I've ever done in Kerbal Space Program so far. And really from here, there's really not much else really left to do in Sarnus. Like, well, we do have the wormhole that's way out here that goes to the Kakablo system, and I thought about, like, maybe at some point in this mission, I maybe might go in there and just peek my head in there and maybe go to maybe the first destination on the other side, but then I thought about it and I thought, well, maybe it might be better if we saved that for a dedicated episode. So really from here, the only other thing left to do would be to return home from Sarnus.